S. Chand presents educational video lectures as per the AICTE curriculum. Difficult concepts made easy. Study anywhere, anytime.
In order to understand the different kind of lasers, either gas laser, solid state laser, so before starting that lasers, firstly we will understand what is the population inversion and how it helps in the working of lasers. So myself Narendra Kaur, let us begin this population inversion. If you want to study this topic in detail, kindly refer this book by S. Chand Publishing. All the topics are given in quite details in the given book. Now the e-book link has been given in the description box. Now as its name indicates, population inversion. Population means firstly the number of atoms which are present in the ground state. So population word here, this indicates the number of atoms which are present in the different states. So population, that is related to number of atoms. Now what is the meaning of inversion over here? That means for the laser actions to take place, the number of atoms in the starting, the number of atoms N1, if this is N1 is a number of atoms which are present in the ground state. If N2, that is a number present in the excited state. Now in the beginning, the large number of atoms that will be present in the ground state, then in the, so that means in the beginning, if this is a ground state and that is the excited state. So now the number of atoms N1 which are present in the ground state and N2 which are present in the excited state. So in the first N1, that must be greater than or very much greater than N2, means large number of atoms are present in the ground state than in the excited state. So that means this is known as a population of atoms which are present initially. The number of atoms in the ground state are more than in the excited state. Now we know that there occur the process, that means the atoms will jump from ground state to the excited state. So that means atoms over here, in this case atoms jump from excited ground state to excited state. So the more number of atoms will be present in the excited state than in the ground state. That means after absorbing the radiations, or you can clearly see that here, after the stimulated absorption. After the stimulated absorption. So when stimulated absorption will take place, the number of atoms will be large in the excited state than in the ground state, means this condition is reversed in this case. So here firstly the number of atoms are large over here. Now after some time or after the stimulated absorption, the number of atoms will be more in the excited state than in the ground state. So this is inverted over here, that means N2 is more than N1. Now this condition is known as population inversion. So population inversion means what is this? The process of making N2 more than N1. Now this process, when we want large number of atoms, when they are present in the excited state than in the ground state, then the energy is released. The photons which are released, they are responsible for the laser light, and in order to generate the laser light, N2 that must be greater than N1. So that means now there will occur the process of stimulated emission. By applying the force, the atoms will jump from N2 to N1. So then the photons are released over here, or you can say that the laser light that will be emitted in this case. So this condition is required, or more precise condition, for the laser action to take place. Now then again the process of making this N2 to N1, this process is known as population inversion. Now there are some conditions for the population inversion. First condition, what is there? We know that the E2 that must be greater than E1. That means some excited states must be there. If there is no excited state, then where the atom will move after absorbing the radiations. That means if the excited state are present in the atoms, then atoms will move from lower state, ground state, to the excited state, means higher energy states. So that is more required over here. Second one, there must be continuous supply of the radiations. Means if the one radiation is falling over here, then the atoms will jump from this to this over here. Then again the process will stop. The population inversion that cannot be achieved. So the population inversion that can be achieved when this radiation they are supplied continuously. When there is a continuous supply of radiation, when they are supplied continuously over here, then continuously the atoms will jump from ground state to the excited state. So that process must be continuous. So the population inversion that can be achieved. Now this process for jumping the atoms from this to this state. So this process is called pumping also in some cases. Now this is done by the presence of radiations. So that's why this is called optical pumping. Optical pumping means what is the optics over here? Optics means h nu, that is the number of photons over here. Photons get absorbed, then more atoms are present from ground state to the excited state. So this is called optical pumping. Second one is the electric discharge. So during electric discharge, the energy which is released, they will make the atoms to jump from ground to the excited state. Next is the inelastic collisions of the atom. So during inelastic collisions of the atom, so atoms will transfer energy. Energy will be transferred by the one atom to the another atom. So the atoms will then jump from ground state to the excited state. Second one is the next is a chemical reaction. So during the chemical reaction again the energy is transferred. So during that the chemical reactions the energy is again transferred, and then there is comes a direct conversion. So in the direct conversion again the energy is transferred for between the atoms, then atoms will move from ground state to the excited state. So this is all about the population inversion over here. Now what is the helium neon gas laser? Now this is the gases over here. So helium and neon both are the gases. So that's why this is called gas laser. Construction takes place over here. Now helium neon gas laser, it is a 4-level gas laser. What is a 4-level gas laser means? So there are the 4 levels are present. First is the ground state. So this is the first level. Second one is the excited state. Second, then metastable state. Then again there occur the metastable state means. So this is called 4-level gas laser. That means 4 levels are present over here. One is the ground state. Second one is the excited state, and 2 metastable states which are existing between ground state and the excited state. Now this is in the form of cylindrical tube. So this laser that is in the form of cylindrical tube which is made up by quartz. So this is like over here. So this is in the form of tube in this case, which is made by fused quartz, and the diameter of this tube will vary from 2 to 8 mm. So that is very precise over here, and their length is taken from 10 to 100 centimeter. So in this case that means this tube is in the form of cylindrical tube. Its diameter, the diameter of this tube is very small, that is in the 2 mm, while its length is taken from 10 to 100 centimeter. So this tube is made up by the quartz. That means in this tube the laser beam is get produced. Now this tube is filled with helium and the neon because these are the initial precursors over here. The gas laser is made up by these. So these are the initial precursors in this case, and this ratio is taken over here, that is 10:1. Means for the 10 atoms of the helium, 1 atom of the neon is present, and that means the partial pressure of helium gas is taken as 1 mm of mercury and the neon gas is taken 0.1 mm of mercury. The ratio means they are not in the form of atoms over here. Now the gases are taken in the form of partial pressure. So that's why the partial pressure of helium gas is taken 1 mm of mercury, while the partial pressure of neon gas is taken 0.1 mm of mercury. So that in the mixture, when we take the mixture of these two gases, the total partial pressure that will be 1 mm of mercury. Now we know that the 0.1 is small as compared to 1. So the total partial pressure that will be given by the 1 mm of mercury, which is mainly due to the helium gas instead of neon gas. Now the laser action is taken place by the neon atom. What is important in the laser action? Stimulated emission. So that means the stimulated emission is done by the neon gas helium atoms. For the neon atoms the laser action will be done, and for the helium gas that is used only for the stimulated absorption. That means atoms can jump. Firstly, the atoms jump from ground state to the excited state for the helium atom. Then the neon atoms comes into action. So the stimulated emission is done for the neon atoms. Now in this case there are the two optical plane mirrors which are fixed at the end of the tube at the Brewster angle. What is the Brewster angle? Which this angle is required for when the multiple reflections are taken place. Means at the end of these tube there are the two mirrors which are fixed here. So these are fixed at here this angle theta. That means they are fixed at some angle theta. What is theta here? This is the known as theta b, which is equals to theta b. What is theta b here? This is the Brewster angle over here. That means these two mirrors are fixed at the Brewster angle. One mirror here, this is fully polished. This mirror is fully polished here, and this mirror is a partially polished. Now why this is done over here? Now this is a fully polished because whole of the laser light, when there occur the multiple reflection in this case, so there occur the reflections and transmission, reflection and the transmission from these two mirrors. So whole of the light is get reflected back, while when this is a partially over here, so some of the light that will be transmitted in this case. So this is a combination of two mirror over here. One mirror is a fully fully polished one side, while on the another side it is a partially polished because the laser light will be transmitted over here. So for example, one is the mirror is a fully silver, so the nearly 100% of reflection is done from the left side mirror, while other is the partially silvered, so that 1% of the light incident on it that will be transmitted. Means when the highly intense light is get formed, that will be fully transmitted in this case. And these resources, they are formed by the mirror only. So there are the optical sources which are formed by these mirror. So again this helium neon laser that is taken in the form of cylindrical tube over here, and the two mirrors are present in this case. Atoms are filled here. So here this is filled with the helium and the neon gas. Now the gases are filled in this case. Firstly there occur the stimulated absorption, and then the emission process is done over here. So the multiple lights are get emitted in this case. Then these multiple lights will suffer the multiple reflections in this case. Now here is a Brewster angle is theta, which is equals to theta b, and these are also known as the Brewster mirrors over here. Now this is a fully polished over here. So when the one side is fully polished, the whole of the light is reflected back. Here some of the light is reflected, some of the light is transmitted. Again at this end we will get the laser light. So laser light is obtained at this end over here. So this is the construction of helium neon laser. So now let us take a short break. So till now we have understood what is the population inversion and the construction of helium neon laser. After the break we will understand working of helium neon laser and how the population inversion is required for the laser action to takes place. Thank you.
Now quality learning is easily available at your doorstep. S. Chand Academy brings detailed lectures based on AICTE curriculum as per the New Education Policy 2020. So do not forget to subscribe to the S. Chand Academy and access the wide world of knowledge conveniently sitting at your home. Stay connected and keep watching S. Chand Academy. Happy learning!
Welcome back to S. Chand Academy. Now before going to break we have understood what is the population inversion and the construction of helium neon laser. Now let us understand what is the working of helium neon laser. So now in order to understand the working of helium neon laser, now this helium neon laser is basically, we know that is a mixture of, so in the helium neon laser, so we know that it is a mixture of helium gas and the neon gas. So firstly, so there occur the 4 level system. So in this case, so this is for the helium atoms. So the helium atoms, when the atoms are present in the ground state over here. Firstly, the atoms are present in the ground state. When the light radiations are falling on these atoms, that means there occur the process of stimulated absorption. So the atoms will jump from this ground state to the excited state. So that means atoms are present over here, the excited state. Now the helium atoms got the sufficient energy. Then there occur inelastic collisions over here. So there occur inelastic collisions between the helium atom and the neon atoms. That means helium atoms will transfer their energy to the neon atoms. Then neon atoms that will be present in the excited state. That means here the helium atoms will collide with the neon atoms, and we know that the helium atoms are in the excited state. So they will transfer their whole energy to the neon atoms, means these neon atoms are present in the excited state now. Again, there is a presence of two types of states. So these neon atoms will jump to these two states by the non-radiative process. We know that the difference between this energy is not too much large. So atoms of neon atom, they will jump to these metastable state by the non-radiative transitions. Again, at this state when the atoms are present, some amount of the photons are given over here. Then these atoms will jump back to the ground state by releasing a laser light with wavelength 6238 angstrom. So this is the wavelength for the laser light. So this is the working of helium neon laser. That means, so in this case the process, in this process there are, firstly there are the energy levels and the helium atoms, they are excited up. So they are excited to the higher energy states. Then again some of the neon atoms, after that there occur inelastic collisions between the helium and the neon atom. So that means helium atoms will transfer their energy to the neon atoms. And neon atoms, they are present in the excited state. Then there are levels present which is F2 and F3. These are the known as metastable states for the neon atoms. After that, the helium atoms, that they will come back to the ground state, and neon atoms, they are present in the excited state. We know that in the excited states, now if these are the metastable state for the neon atom, so that means they are, so these levels are here E4 and E6. So these are the metastable state for the neon atoms. That means again the atoms will jump back from, there occur de-excitations again. De-excitations means, we know that firstly what will happen there, helium atoms jump from ground state to the excited state. Then after releasing their energy or transferring their energy to the neon atoms completely, the helium atoms will jump back to the ground level, that is the F1 level. Because of the longer lifetime of the atoms in these levels F2 and F3, this process of energy transfer has high probability. We know that for the neon atoms, the atoms will jump from ground excited state to the metastable states. We know that the metastable states are more stable than the excited state. So the atoms will not be stable in the excited state, means the neon helium atoms which are present here in the excited states, they are not stable. So that's why they will transfer their energy to the neon atoms. So the energy will be transferred to the neon atoms by the inelastic collisions. We know that the inelastic collisions, whole of the energy will be transferred for the helium to the neon atoms. One atom will transfer their energy completely to the another atom. So when the energy is transferred, so the neon atoms, they will come to the excited state. Again for the neon atoms, again here the atoms are not stable, but for the neon there exist metastable states. So these stables are more stable over here. So due to presence of metastable state in the neon atoms, so they are more stable over here. So the atoms will jump to the metastable state. Again, so atoms are more stable over here when they are jump to the metastable state by the non-radiative transitions. So this will help to create. Now what is this process? This process means the number of atoms are large in the higher state than in the ground state. This condition is known as population inversion. So that's why for the laser action to takes place, for the laser action to takes place, population inversion is necessary over here. That means the population inversion is taken place for the neon atoms which are in the excited state to the neon atoms which are present in the ground state. So this is known as population inversion, and due to this we know that again here the number of atoms N2, they are very much large than N1. What is N1? That is the number of atoms which are present in the ground state. What is N2? The number of atoms which are present in the excited state. Here the excited state, that is a higher energy state, that can be level E2 or the E3. What is E3? That is a metastable state. So again there occur transitions of the atoms which are present in the E4 level and which is the E6 level. So these are the energy level for neon atoms. They are basically metastable state. Again there occur transition of the atoms from this, here this is for E4 to E1 or for E6 to E1, or if this can be written as E1 or the F1. So that means these transitions are taken place, and during these transitions now the atoms are more stable over here. So that means the more of the energy that will be supplied. So these are the kind of stimulated emission. That means some force must be supplied to the atoms to jump back from excited state, from metastable state to the ground states. So this energy, that means these photons, they are get absorbed by the atom. So this is called stimulated emission over here. So this is called stimulated emission. And during this, after this process, this energy wavelength which is equal to difference of these two, E2 minus E1, then the energy of this is equals to E2, or you can say that E4 and E6, if these are these level, so that will be equals to E4 minus E1, that will be equals to H nu, or you can say that this is equals to E6 minus E1, which is equals to H nu. So where H, that is equals to Hc by lambda. So by this energy difference the lambda will be calculated. What is lambda over here? That is the wavelength of laser light. Now for this process is taken place by the multiple times, means there occur multiple reflections and transmission. Again these atoms come over here, again they jump to the higher energy state, again to the metastable state, then to the ground level. So this process taken place continuously, means stimulated absorption and stimulated emission. The both of the processes taken place simultaneously and the continuously by the continuously supply of the initial radiations with energy h nu. So due to this continuous emission, the lambda, or you can say that the laser light is emitted over here with wavelength which is 6238 angstrom. Now when you see this wavelength over the visible spectrum, you can see that the red color of laser light. So the red color of laser light is obtained over here. So that means the laser light is with helium neon gas laser, the laser light is with the red color. So with the wavelength 6238 angstrom, that is released over here. So this is all about the working of helium neon laser. That means in the helium neon laser we know that when we have taken only the helium gas, so there are no metastable gas, no metastable states are present, so no laser beam or the laser light will be released. No laser light will be formed when we take only the, when we have taken only the helium gas over here. So that means for this only no laser light will be there. But when we take only the neon atoms, again there will be no laser light, although the metastable states are present for the neon atoms, because the neon atoms, they are not take responsibility for the stimulated absorption. So the stimulated absorption, helium atoms, they are responsible for the stimulated absorption, neon atoms, they are responsible for the stimulated emission. Means these processes are taken place simultaneously when we have taken both the combination of helium as well as neon by the ratio 10:1. Means with 10 atoms of helium one atom of neon will be present due to presence of 4 states. 4 state means there the 2 metastable states are present in case of neon instead of 1 metastable state. So that's why this is also called 4 state level, and due to this presence of stimulated absorption in helium and stimulated emission in the neon, the laser lights get formed due to multiple transitions of stimulated absorption and stimulated emission. Then the laser light with wavelength 6328 angstrom, that is released over here. So that means from this excited state level, so the neon atoms, they will drop down again from E3 to E2 level. Again there occurs the process of spontaneous emission also. So in the spontaneous emission, the wavelength which is produced around 6000 angstrom, this is of no use. So that is not used in case. So in the spontaneous emission, the laser light, or you can say that the light only which is emitted with wavelength 6000 angstrom, that is not used over here. So in this case, only the laser light is absorbed or the released when there occur transition from metastable state to the ground state for neon atom. So that will be released over here. Then these atoms get excited to the E1 level, means atoms will come from metastable state to the ground state level. And in case of laser light, the non-radiative transitions are done when the atoms are moving from excited state to the metastable state. Now for the helium neon laser, the output is for 1 to 50 megawatt and the continuous output is obtained in this case. So that's why this helium neon laser, this is also called continuous laser. The helium neon laser is also called continuous laser because the continuous power supply is obtained. So this is the main. Now when we are taking the benefits of helium neon laser, firstly this is a gas laser, so the continuously pumping of atoms that can be done. And second point is that here this is a continuous laser, that means the continuously we will getting the output. So output is continuous over here. So that is the main advantage of helium neon laser over here. This is all about the helium neon laser and the population inversion. How in the helium neon laser, helium atoms are responsible for the stimulated absorption and neon atoms are responsible for the stimulated emission for the laser action to takes place. Thank you. If you want to study this topic in detail, kindly refer this book by S. Chand Publishing. All the topics are given in quite details in the given book. Now the e-book link has been given in the description box. Now if you like the video, kindly like, share and subscribe this video, and also you can press the bell icon for the future notifications.
All rights reserved. This video has been prepared for educational purposes only. No part of it may be reproduced or copied without the permission of the copyright holder.